Greetings, welcome to Hexed Encountered. My name's Joe. In this video, we will be doing a first look at the game's third option, Global Clandestine Operations. This is from Dan Verssen Games and is designed by Joe Fernandez. This is a brand new game. I just received it. I had backed it on Kickstarter. And basically, it's kind of, as you might be able to tell from this logo right here, it is related to the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA, Clandestine Operations. Also kind of a big hint there. So this is, as is the case with many of Dan Verssen Games' offerings, it is a solitaire game. This is a solitaire game of global clandestine operations with the CIA. And I won't read the whole back here. You can maybe, if you have a big enough screen, pause it and read it for yourself. But it does include a mission board, 176 counters, 25 team cards, 25 asset cards, 17 mission cards, 17 enemy action cards, 28 event cards, 6 D10 and 4 D6 dice, 2 player aids, a mission and operation log sheet, and a 25-page rulebook. So let's crack into the package here and take the shrink wrap off and see what's inside. Okay, let's open the box and see what we've got inside. Well, this would be the rule book, as you might expect. Let's slide this over. So here's our rule book. It is 25 pages long, is what it said there at the on the box, and they were, well, it's actually only 21, so they were a little overly generous on the page count there, but less is more in many cases. So we do have an introduction here, which goes through that this is, you're working with the Central Intelligence Agency's Directorate of Clandestine Operations, SAC, the Special Activity Center, otherwise known as the third option, hence the name of the game. Goes through all your things, your components that should be in the box. Overview of how you play the game. It's a solitaire game played on a mission map where the player selects, deploys, and maneuvers teams and assets representing U.S. clandestine services with an emphasis on paramilitary actions against adversaries around the world. You have an org chart here for third option. Which is kind of cool, actually. So you have objectives, concepts, missions, etc., different threat levels, different mission types. So we can have find, fix, and finish, also known as F3. Missions that target a specific threat with the intent to neutralize. So you might be able to ascertain what that means, and F3 might be a less blatant description of what that really is. Capture, sabotage, rescue, recon, raid, and a mission generator. Mission generator bot card is designed to provide the player with extended play as well as build your own mission design options. So that's always cool. Scoring, your game component descriptions. Of course, being a Dan Verssen game, you do have obviously a lot of cards. Most of their games are based, or at least utilize cards in some fashion. This one would be no different. I'm curious to see how this compares to something like, say, Warfighter, with which it may share some DNA. I don't know yet until I go through everything. But then you have mission execution, so basically how you play the mission out. Different phases, so phase 1, planning, then recon. Then you've got the direct action phase. That's a long one. And that's it. Your direct action phase is the last one. Then your description of the cards. So we'll see the cards here in a moment, but here's a brief description of what they are. Here is the board. This is the second item in the box. You do get a mounted board, which is pretty nice. Here's our mounted board. Let me zoom out and so you can see this a little bit better. Okay, so here we have the entire map, or board rather. I do apologize for some of the glare on either end. But you can see the phases are actually laid out on the map board here. I keep calling it a map board. It's just a board. But it is mounted. It's mounted, very nice. So if you're familiar with, say, some of the leader games or whatever, you've seen the Dan Verssen Games mounted boards. This is very much in that same vein. It's nice, it's thick, it doesn't lay perfectly flat right out of the box, but that's the case of many mounted map boards. So I'm not going to hold that against them, certainly. We have phase 1, which is the planning phase. You have your various areas, area commands around the world. Phase 2, you've got your recon phase. And then phase 3 is our direct action phase. So you do have a lot of space. This is a fairly sizable board. And you do have areas for your cards. So here's our sequence of play, the mission card, you have an event card, and the discard for the event cards. You have trackers for the enemy casualties as well as your own, and then enemy action decks, the deck, and 3 different enemy actions. Again, more actions here on this little chart right here. So that would be the board. And bring the box back in. So here we have the mission log sheet. This is actually cardstock. So obviously you're probably not going to write on this one, but you can use it to make photocopies. And like I said, it is cardstock, so it'll hold up, which is nice. Some of your sample, at least in my experience, some of your sample sheets that come with games get a little raggedy after a while, after you're bringing it to your printer and making copies, etc. So we have an operation log sheet. So you have your mission log sheet and then your operation log sheet, which actually has 2 operations on it. Again, also cardstock, so also good for photocopying. Then we have player aid here, 2 of them. One for the phases. So you got a nice flow chart here, which is kind of cool. As a computer programmer, I'm familiar with these guys, as you might guess. So yeah, you have your phase flow charts for all 3 phases. Here's the 3rd option. This is your special activity center, and different things you can do, I would guess. I have not read the rules yet, so we will find that out when I do the playthrough. Map counter sheets, there are 2. So you can see some of what's on here: hits, fighters, intel, DRM markers, different area markers. So you got AFRICOM, CENTCOM, NORTHCOM, INDOPACOM, etc. They are 2-sided. You have mission flags: capture mission, raid, the F3, sabotage, rescue, and recon. And you have them on this side as well. And here we have, I would assume, various teams. You've got your special operations group, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, etc. More markers. A whole bunch of dice. So here are our dice. As it said on the box, there are, it looks like, 4 D6s and 6 D10s. The D6s are this kind of yellowy orange color, which is interesting. And then you've got 2 red, 2 green, and 2 blue D10s. And then you have your cards. So here are our cards. We'll rip into this and check this out as well. So you have the team cards here. And here we have the name, obviously, the cost. So just like in the other Dan Verssen games, the Leader series is the one I'm most familiar with, but I've also played Warfighter. You have costs for things. So this is your team cost. This is the counter designation, and then you have modifiers down here for your die rolls. C infiltration is a -1 on this particular team, and C exfiltration is a -2. So you have various ones here for different branches, of course, with different things. This one's air. This one's got, this is a ground, like a ground branch. So you have maritime, air, ground, lots of ground branch, which makes sense. And here's another maritime branch. So they would obviously be from your various forces. Then we have recon group cards. I think these are just like these are another type of team, I would guess. And they give you different abilities, right, for recon purposes. Then we have our mission cards. So these would be your types of missions. So it'll tell you your asset points, where the mission takes place, etc., and so on. You've got objectives in here. Your infiltration method is C. Your exfiltration is by air. Place the sabotage counter on mission map. Tells you it's a mission sabotage Indo-PACOM. Then you have one here, rescue CENTCOM, etc. So there are a decent variety of mission cards here. So you get like that many. And then we have here event cards. And so just again, this is kind of a staple of the DVG kind of game system where you draw event cards during play, and then it tells you something that happens, which will either be a good thing or a bad thing. And this one obviously adds a +1 DRM for all teams during one action round during the recon phase, and in the direct action phase, you add a +1 DRM for all teams as well. So that would be a good one, I'm thinking. Again, I have not read the rules yet. We have more event cards, so these would also go with this pile here. So that's a decent number of event cards. Then we have enemy action cards, and then asset cards. So you have enemy action cards. And so this one will just tell you things about enemy actions, as you might guess, right? Exploit a tactical mistake, +1 DRM on player attack roll for 1 action round. So actually that event would have been a bad one then, because if an enemy action gives you a positive DRM, then that's obviously a bad thing for the player. Exploit a tactical mistake. So when they roll, they would get a -1 DRM on enemy attack roll for 1 action round. So these are the types of things you're going to see when the enemies take actions in the game. And then, of course, we also have asset cards. So this is a veteran operator. The applicable threat levels, I guess, is what this is, or threat areas. So you have high, medium, and low. I'm assuming this is a cost. Then it tells you what that actually does for you and whether or not you have to discard it after use, I'm assuming. So you can assign this to one SOG team, provides a -1/2 hit DRM. It may be reassigned if assigned team becomes a casualty, you remove the card. So there you have it. So this is a look at the game Third Option from Dan Verssen Games, designed by Joe Fernandez. I will be doing some playthrough of this game in the near future. I will be doing something about what I'm planning on doing in February here in a little bit. But for now, the plan is to actually get this game played in the very near future as well. So as always, thank you for watching. It is always greatly appreciated by me. Just viewing is a way of supporting my channel. If you could also throw me a like, a share, and or a subscribe, that would also be awesome and much appreciated. But either way, I hope you found the video to be either informative or entertaining or both. And we'll come back and check out future videos as I do them. So that will do it for now. As always, thank you for watching. My name is Joe. This has been Hexed Encountered, and until next time, happy gaming.